All right, guys. Hello, hello. I'm going to make sure we are live here. Sorry, I'm hopping on a couple minutes late, but today we are going to be talking about how to take you from being totally overwhelmed with healthy eating and get you to the point where you are a healthy eating expert. So we're really doing this as like an intro to our whole Nourish month that we're talking about here in April. So today I wanted to start, since we talk so much about the three phases. I love that like there are three phases. It makes it so much easier and just it really clarifies the actions that you need to take. And so last month we were talking about movement. We talked through what the three phases look like for movement. And then this month we're going to talk about what the three phases look like when it comes to healthy eating. So we're kind of working our way through the four pillars of a healthy lifestyle, which are movement, nourishment, rest, or energy, really a focus on energy, and stress resilience and stress management. So the three phases exist in all of them. You can be in slightly different phases depending on each one. Like some people are just better. Like they've already got the skills in place for, say, movement, but they haven't really got it down for stress management, right? I think that tends to be a pretty common one where people might have the skills down. They might be in like phase 2 with movement and nourishment, but they're still in phase 1 when it comes to like energy and stress. So let's see, we are live. Awesome. Okay, great. So, point being, you can be in different phases at different times. So I'm having a lot of fun just working through what those phases look like for each pillar of a healthy lifestyle. So today, of course, we're going to dig in because it's Nourish Month. So we're going to dig into what the three phases look like when it comes to nourishment or healthy eating. So if you are here, drop me a little heart, say hi, let me know who's watching, and if you are on the replay, of course, drop me a little hashtag replay. So I'm going to give you guys a quick disclaimer. You all probably saw my post from last week on Friday that my hip kind of slipped out of place. It was not 100% yet, and it's been throwing off my sleep, so I'm not 100% in my brain today. So I'm sorry if I do ramble a little bit or if I might need to pause and just kind of recollect where I'm at. I do have notes, so I should be good. So I'm really excited to share this today, though. This is all of these are my favorite topics, but I love talking about healthy eating. So I did tag a few of you who are interested in watching, and so I'll follow up later. Now, let's dig in to what the phases are. So in general, I talk about the three phases of kind of the health and fitness journey, being phase 1, getting out of survival mode, and dealing with stress, basically, going from survival into finally thriving. Phase 2 is where you're really thriving on autopilot for the most part. You've got stuff in place, you're pretty much good. And then phase 3 is when you're actually ready, willing, and able to challenge yourself to grow even more. So the phases look pretty similar to that, but I'm going to kind of cover what they look like really more specifically with healthy eating, as well as what it kind of looks like to eat healthy in those phases, because they are different. And I think the biggest issue that people run into and why people tend to not get results, whether it's movement, nourishment, energy, stress management, whatever, the reason people really tend to not get results is because they are not accurately identifying what phase they are in, and then they are using strategies that are not appropriate for the phase they are in. Most often, what I see, especially with the trends that we see in the health and fitness industry, with societal standards and expectations, most often what I see is that people are in phase 1 and trying to apply phase 3 strategies, and they just don't work. They do not work together. Because you're basically skipping all the foundational stuff that needs to happen in phase 1 to get you out of survival mode, and you're applying these strategies that are really only meant to be used short term and to just briefly challenge yourself, as opposed to like be your norm. That's why you see so many people go through challenges and programs and stuff that are using phase 3 strategies. They may get some results in phase 3 strategies, but then when the program or the challenge is over, they cannot maintain the results, and then they fall right back into phase 1 because they never actually got themselves out of phase 1, and they never laid that foundation in phase 2 where they can just maintain it and live at that point. So let's dig into we're going to start with what phase 1 looks like for nourishment, and what healthy eating might start looking like as you are getting yourself out of phase 1, because that's kind of the goal, is to get out of phase 1 and get into phase 2, so that phase 2 is like your baseline where you spend most of your time, where you live most of the time. And then you periodically use phase 3 just to challenge yourself, to grow a little bit, to get some quick results, but always with that understanding that you're going to come back to phase 2 and kind of regroup and just live there, right? Because we don't want to be obsessing over movement and nourishment, diet and exercise all the time. It's got a time and a place, but we have other things to do in our lives. That's why I talk so much about being able to take care of yourself consistently and intuitively while expertly balancing work, family, and life, because these things don't happen in a vacuum. Maybe unfortunately, I don't know. I think it's good to be able to actually create this balance where you are taking care of yourself and doing all the things that are important to you, like work, family, life, that sort of thing. So, all right, I'm rambling now. Phase 1, when it comes to healthy eating, let's talk there. So, phase 1 with healthy eating is where you are very new to healthy eating. So as I'm going through this, I want you guys to drop me a 1 if this resonates with you at all. So I want to be clear too, because I think a lot of times, we talk about phase 1, and a lot of times, like I said, the big issue I see is that people are in phase 1 and then trying to apply phase 3 strategies. And I think for some people, there's this, they don't want to admit that they're in phase 1. And there is no shame in being in phase 1, especially when you understand our society kind of lends itself to just keeping people stuck perpetually in phase 1. Our society does not really support the habits and strategies that are really required to live in phase 2. So it takes a little bit of breaking away from societal standards and expectations to get to phase 2 consistently. It's really about kind of empowering yourself to be no, I'm going to be in phase 2. I am not going to buy into the hustle culture and the fad diets and the fad workouts. So there's no shame in being in phase 1. That's kind of the place everyone is at when they first start, especially when I first meet them. I've been in phase 1, guys. It's okay. Everyone starts there. So please, if what I'm about to tell you, if any of it resonates with you, don't feel bad if you're in phase 1, okay? So again, if you guys are watching live, please do say hi and let me know in the comments. So phase 1, what this looks like is you are very new to healthy eating. You're generally very overwhelmed by all of the information out there. You are wondering, what are the right foods? You're probably in a place where it's you just want to eat better, but you don't really know what that looks like. So again, drop me a 1 if any of this is sounding like you, because that helps us identify that you're in phase 1. So now we can identify what are the right strategies for you, right? And what healthy eating is going to look like for you in this phase. So you can get out of phase 1 and get into phase 2 instead of continuing to try to apply phase 3 strategies that don't work, right? So if you're new to healthy eating, you're overwhelmed, you don't really know what healthy eating should look like, and especially if you are really heavily relying on the internet and experts and the standard recommendations to guide you in making healthy choices. So especially if you find yourself getting caught in oh, maybe I'll try this diet. Maybe I'll try this strategy like intermittent fasting or carb cycling or something like that. Oh, I'll try this. Oh, I'll try that. The FDA says I should have this many like servings of fruits and vegetables. Like, so if you find yourself really relying heavily on those things and just trying one thing after another, you're definitely in phase one. And the big goal in phase one, of course, is to get you out of that, get into phase two, and really help you start getting more in tune with what actually works for you, as opposed to just trying one strategy after another. Like, we want to get back in tune with your body and start eating the diet that your body really thrives on, as opposed to just like, try this cookie cutter strategy, try this cookie cutter strategy. That's not effective. That's not efficient. And a lot of times those really do a lot more damage than they need to. So, you're also going to be in phase one if you've got like unmanaged health issues, if you've got digestive issues, and if you have a lot of stress. And stress really it plays a big role in all four pillars. So, but yeah, food issues definitely bring their own stress, whether it's like your emotional relationship with food, whether it's how your body is physically responding to food. Like if you have health issues or digestive issues, those are all forms of stress, right? Especially if you have a lot of anxiety when it comes to eating, or just a lot of overwhelm because you're like, I don't know what to eat. So those are all different kinds of stressors. So if that's you, that you are in phase one, and that's okay because we're here to get you out of phase one, right? So one thing I do want to point out, I've been talking about how, if you're in phase one, you don't want to use phase three strategies to get you out of phase one. This is still true when it comes to healthy eating and nourishment, but there is kind of a special case if you've got those health issues and digestive issues, especially if they're chronic, they've been ongoing for a long time. There's kind of a special case to be made where it may being a very big operating word here, may be appropriate to bring in some phase three strategies while still working on the phase one. But the phase three strategies can tend to be really helpful in getting you fast relief and helping you really get your health back on track, really bringing relief to digestive issues, rapid relief to stress problems, and just like managing any symptoms you might have with any chronic health issues. So there is a time and a place for phase three strategies when you are in phase one, but the big caveat being you have to still be working on phase one strategies alongside those phase three. This is not something I recommend just trying on your own. This is something that you would be doing either with me, like a coach who knows how to coach on nutrition. I am a certified nutrition coach. And depending on what level you're at with health issues, you may need to be working with like a medical nutritionist or with your doctors. Like there is a time and a place. Like I can't do medical nutrition therapy where I'm actually like prescribing a diet for a specific health issue. But I can guide you with like decoding your body's cues and finding the right strategy and implementing it is the big thing. So like if your doctor has told you you need to try doing a specific diet, so your doctor is the one who's prescribed it, but if you need help implementing it, I can help with that. I hope that makes sense. There's a lot of gray area with this stuff. So, but yeah, I don't really, if you're in phase one, and need to be getting the phase one strategies down, but you also could really use the rapid relief you'd get with phase three strategies, I really strongly recommend working with a professional. It's not something to try on your own. So if that's you, reach out to me and we can talk and I can help you decide whether we can work together or I can refer you to like what's the word I'm trying to say? A medical professional who like is really primed and ready to help you. So drop a 1 for me if any of this is resonating for you. So that would mean you're in phase 1. So in phase 1, I'm spending most of my time in phase 1 too today simply because most people are in phase 1. And then I'll give you a brief overview on phase 2 and 3. Plus the other videos we'll be doing this month are going to be fleshing out a little more of phase 2 and 3. So If you are in phase 1, what the heck does healthy eating look like? I'm over here telling you, don't do all of the strategies that are like mostly promoted by the health and fitness industry, right? Like, don't do the fad diets. So what do you do, right? Don't listen to the like recommended daily allowance, the FDA, like, so what do you do, right? So the big goal here is, of course, getting you out of survival mode, right? This might mean, again, that we need to start decreasing your stress, start helping your body heal, and definitely start getting you clarity on what healthy eating looks like. That is the goal in phase 1, is figuring out what healthy eating looks like for you, not what the generalized blanket healthy eating thing recommendations are. What is right for you? You don't need any complex strategies to do this. In fact, it's actually super, super simple. I've got 3 things that you will work on when you're in phase 1. And the number 1 thing is actually just relearning how to eat. This is a skill that we are born with. It's generally pretty innate to us, but through social conditioning, through diet culture, we get taught from a very early age how to not listen to our bodies. And so even though we had that innate knowledge as babies, like babies eat when they're hungry. There's not really an issue with that. They eat when they're hungry. They stop when they're full most of the time, right? It's a very rare case where a baby refuses to eat, right? And there's usually other underlying issues. So babies eat when they're hungry. Their bodies know when they're hungry. They send them their hunger cues. They eat. They get full. They're happy. There's like zero issue with food and eating for babies. But as we grow, we of course get taught, finish all the food on your plate. Doesn't matter if you're full or not. You eat only at these designated times. Doesn't matter if you're hungry at other times. You eat what is served to you. Doesn't matter if it upsets your stomach, right? So we get taught from a very early age not to listen to our bodies, even though our bodies are the smart ones here, especially when it comes to survival things like food. And we really we need to get back to listening to our bodies. So we need to relearn how to eat. So that's really the first thing. That's what you do for the most part when you're in phase 1, is you relearn how to eat. I am going to, right now, before I forget, so let me get my link here. I'm going to drop this link here in the comments and poof. All right. So I'm dropping the link for the How to Eat Challenge. That's going to happen April 13th through 15th. It's a 3-day challenge. So definitely join me in that, because I'm going to show you there's only 3 habits that you need to start relearning how to eat. So I want to get you guys started on that ASAP. So go sign up for the challenge. It is free. And if you're watching this after April 13th, 2022, the challenge will still be live. So I will update the link though if I need to. But yeah, you'll still be able to get the challenge. It's going to be an evergreen thing. So if you're watching this afterwards, go check in the guides section where you will find the most current link for that challenge. So I'm not going to go too much into the How to Eat challenge, but basically we're just going to cover the top 3 habits that we really need to get back in place. They are innate, so it really just takes a little bit of practice to get them back in place. So yeah, go join the challenge. I'll see you guys there. I'll teach you all about how to relearn how to eat. I start with this instead of what to eat, because it truly doesn't actually matter what you eat initially. That will matter as you get into phase 2 and 3. But you can eat all organic foods that are, scientifically proven to be healthy. You could eat all of the all the gurus' favorite superfoods and stuff. You can eat all of that, which is generally high quality food, right? But if you're not actually employing these how to eat habits, it's still not going to help you maintain a healthy weight. Like you can still overeat on those foods or undereat too, if that's your problem. And so we want to make sure that we're getting that in place. The how to eat habits are also going to help you do the second top priority when you're in phase 1, which is simply rebuilding a healthy, happy relationship with food. Because if you continue to have a ton of anxiety around food, if you continue to have a ton of guilt around food, it isn't going to matter what you eat, and it's not going to matter what other high-level strategies you employ. You're still going to have the health issues, the stress issues, the bad relationship with food, and you're ultimately not going to be able to ever get to phase 2 where you're just consistently and intuitively eating in a way that's good for you. That makes you happy, right? That doesn't create more stress in your life. So those are kind of the top 2 priorities when you're in phase 1, is getting those how to eat habits down, relearning how to eat, and rebuilding a healthy, happy relationship with food where you are the one in the driver's seat, which we'll talk about that more in week 3, I think, where I'll do a whole video, a whole training on that. So for right now, if you're in phase 1, if any of this has resonated with you, make sure you join the How to Eat Challenge, because I will teach you all of this stuff in that challenge so we can get you started. And it's truly, that's all there is to it. You might notice too, like I'm not really talking so much about like weight loss specifically, because with those how to eat habits, your body will automatically start self-regulating and get to its ideal weight. So weight loss specifically is not really a phase 1 habit, even though I know it tends to be kind of top of mind for people. Weight loss or getting to a healthy weight, whether it's gain or loss, it is a secondary factor. It is a secondary result that will come from tuning back into your body and relearning how to eat and rebuilding a healthy relationship with food and decreasing your stress and healing your body from any chronic health issues. Like those are the things that need to happen first. Any weight rebalancing that needs to happen will happen as a result of that. So there's that. If you want to talk about that more, though, please do reach out to me and I'm happy to talk more. So quickly, let's just hop into what phase 2 and phase 3 look like. I'm not going to dig too deep into these simply because we're going to be talking about them a lot more in the next couple of weeks trainings. But phase 2, of course, is kind of just building on phase 1. We're really refining the process of how you eat, fine-tuning it so that it really works for you. Like really kind of getting in tune, like when do you want to eat? What are your body's cycles? So like some people really do only need to eat maybe twice a day. Other people do better eating multiple meals a day. So that's fine-tuning that. There's no easy answer on like how often should I eat each day? What times should I eat? That's something that you will learn based on you. They can do all the studies that they want on this stuff, but at the end of the day, every single person is unique. And so, yeah, they can find like what the majority of the population might thrive on best, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be right for you. And that doesn't mean that the research is wrong. It doesn't mean you are wrong. It just means you're your own unique person and we need to find what works for you as opposed to just following what like the majority of research has said is always the case, because it's not always the case. There's always gray area. So in phase 2, that's where we are going to start introducing more of a focus on what you are eating, because what you eat, of course, does play a huge role in healing chronic health issues, managing stress, and really just optimizing how your body functions. And kind of, again, building on this idea that, yes, the scientific research is very helpful. It gives us a great starting point. But at the end of the day, every single one of us has our own unique body chemistry and our own unique gut microbiome, all the little bacteria and other things that live in your gut that help you digest your food. And so there's really no one diet fits all. What is considered a superfood because it's maybe very dense in nutrients that we need, that food might work great for one person, and it might actually totally jack up someone else's gut and trigger health issues. For me, case in point, I was vegan for a number of years, and that's actually when I hit the lowest point in my health, because it turns out I'm highly sensitive to all of the fructans that are found in grains and beans and some vegetables as well. So while I was eating foods that are classified as superfoods, they were actually destroying my gut and making my health deteriorate pretty badly. So I had to switch to a more like paleo-based diet where it's more meat and fruit, like high quality meats and fruits, of course. But yeah, those are the foods that keep my gut happy, that keep my energy up, that help me manage my hypermobility disorder. I'm not like a vegan diet. Grains and beans destroy my gut. Don't even start me on dairy. Dairy's a bad one. But that's not true for everybody. Like some people thrive on dairy. Some people thrive on grains. So it's really about finding what's right for you. And that's kind of what we focus on in phase 2 is how does your body respond to food and what foods are best for you? So phase 2 is very much tuning even deeper into your body. We get the foundational, like intuitive eating on how to eat down in phase 1, and then we figure out what you need to eat in phase 2, while of course refining those skills of how to eat as well as the skills of like feeding yourself consistently. So like meal planning, cooking, that sort of thing. So that's phase 2. I am going to talk more about the specifics of what to eat next week. We'll dig a little bit more into what I just talked about. So if you do have questions on that, make sure you drop them in the comments. But yeah, phase 2, and especially if you are identifying yourself as being in phase 2, I think the biggest thing I'd love you to start with, or like really start thinking about, is how can you get more in tune with your body and start really recognizing how your body is responding to what you're eating, when you're eating, that sort of thing, as opposed to trying to conform to any of the like standard rules of like eat 3 meals a day, eat X amount of grains, eat X amount of veggies. Like how can you really tune into how your body is responding to these things and starting to optimize it based on how you feel? Ideally, the big goal here, any diet that's most optimal for you is going to make your body feel good. So you're not going to have like digestive issues or pain flare-ups, allergies. I'll share a whole list of like all the ways foods can affect you to help you really fine tune it, because it's not just digestive issues. But where was I going with this? So just noticing how your body is responding to these things and trying to eat more of what makes you feel good. That's what I was saying, was what an optimal diet is going to look like is it's going to make your body feel good. It's going to help you maintain like a good energy level throughout the day, none of these like big ups and downs. And it's just going to make you feel happy and nourished, body, mind, and soul, right? It's not just about sticking dogmatically to healthy foods all the time. Like if there's unhealthy foods out there, right, you still are allowed to enjoy them if they kind of nourish you mind and soul, right? And you just, if it makes your body angry, just don't do it all the time, right? Finding the balance. So really, phase 2, tune more into your body and how your body's responding to things instead of forcing yourself to conform to the standard, like what's healthy, right? So I hope that makes sense. All right, phase 3, let's dig into that real quick, and then I'll get you guys going for the day. So phase 3, again, people love to try the phase 3 strategies and they're still in phase 1. So please go back to phase 1 and how to eat and really tuning into your body before you start employing phase 3 strategies. Phase 3, I'm going to be super duper clear on this one. Phase 3 is for further exploring what works for you when you've already got that foundation in place from phase 2. So phase 3, you're further exploring like what works for you. This is also the time where you can do a fun challenge, right? And you could do a quick reset, because we're not going to be perfect all the time. We're going to go through phases where, we start making excuses or whatever, and we just go and enjoy some of those foods that maybe don't make us feel our best more often than maybe we should. And even though, like, for the most part, you're in phase 2. Like for me, it's often like I'll go through a period where I'm enjoying, oh gosh, the summer's the worst for me. I'm enjoying a daily cocktail, right? Where alcohol does not really, it doesn't sit great with me, but I can get away with doing it for like a few weeks before I actually really notice like my body's starting to not do well with it. And so I'm still technically in phase 2, but I need to then do kind of a quick reset where I pop into phase 3, kind of challenge myself to just eliminate the cocktails, focus on some more healthy foods that really help my body kind of detox and reset. And then I go back to my phase 2 eating, where there's a little bit more balance between, maybe a weekly cocktail or something like that. So phase 3, the biggest thing I want to leave you with phase 3 is that you don't live in phase 3. You live in phase 2. Phase 3 is something you do for brief periods to help you either understand yourself on a deeper level, grow and get to like the next level. Like maybe you are getting more into like the more competitive sports or something, and so you need a more fine-tuned nutrition approach while you're training for a race or something, right? If you want to do a triathlon or that sort of thing. So like maybe you're in phase 3 for a few months while you're training for that, but then at the end, you're going to go back to phase 2. You do not live in phase 3 the whole time. So yeah, and it's for like quick resets as well. So if you want to do like a 30-day challenge just to like help you reset your body, detox, maybe you've started to get kind of an unhealthy attachment to certain foods and you want to go ahead and reset that so you're the one in control. Phase 3 is amazing for that sort of thing. Or 2, maybe like you've gotten as far as you can with managing health issues, with getting out of phase 1 and really establishing a foundation with phase 2. And now you want to try a higher level strategy to see if it helps you even better manage symptoms or that sort of thing. But you're not going to stay in phase 3 forever. And I think that's kind of the wrong assumption that people make, because that's what is promoted so often. Like people think that they're going to live doing keto for the rest of their life. They think they're going to do intermittent fasting for the rest of their life. And I'm like, that's not healthy. It's not realistic. It's not going to happen. Like you might do it for a period, but eventually it's just not sustainable. So we want to get you to where you can sustain your phase 2 before we hop into phase 3. So if you are considering doing anything like intermittent fasting, carb cycling, anything like that, or specialty diets as well, remember, like you're kind of in one of 2 boats, right? If you don't have health issues that are pressing that you need rapid relief from, then really I would say hold off on those phase 3 habits until you've gotten these foundations down on how to eat and what to eat in phase 1 and 2. Once you've at least got a baseline on that where you will get improvements. And that's the thing too, is I know so many people resist doing these foundational habits because they seem too easy, right? And they want the quick fix. And it's, you've got to get those habits down. You will get powerful results from those, far more powerful than you will get from the phase 3 strategies. So you want to get those results first, at least get some results coming in, because again, phase 3 strategies are not meant for long term. They're meant to get quick results. And when you're done with whatever challenge or whatever you're doing, you have to be able to come back to your baseline. And if you haven't established your baseline in phase 2, you're going to go back to your baseline of being in phase 1. And that's where you get those nasty yo-yo cycles that are really frustrating to people and make them feel like they've tried everything. But the one thing that they haven't tried is actually, getting into phase 2 consistently. So I'm going to get off my soapbox on that one. I hope that makes it clear, though, that this is probably why you have had frustrations. You feel like you've tried everything. Your body's not responding. You're not losing the weight. You still feel unhealthy. Like you still need to you need to eat healthier, and you still don't know what that looks like. It's because we haven't got how to eat and what to eat down. And it really does need to go in that order. How to eat and then what to eat, right? Let me see if there was anything else that I really wanted to say on that. So again, yeah. Okay, yeah, going back, so I said that you'd be in one of 2 camps, right? Where if you don't have any health issues that really need fixing, you really want to go through the phase 1, 2, 3 progression, right? Now, if you do have those health issues and you just need some relief from them, even so that you can get more results from the phase 1 and 2 strategies, that is where certain phase 3 strategies can be useful. It depends on the health issues you have too, right? Like I'll go with the more black and white ones. If you have epilepsy, keto is appropriate. That's pretty much the only time keto is appropriate, though. I'm going to say that. There's a lot of talk on using keto for like PCOS. There is not definitive research that truly backs that. And especially, again, going back to this whole idea that you should not live in a phase 3 strategy. Women will get benefits temporarily from doing like a keto diet. It might help briefly, but it's not done long term because it actually does mess up your hormones even further. So again, time and a place for a phase 3 strategy to get immediate results, but then understanding you got to find that phase 2 place for yourself. But yeah, like if you have epilepsy, then keto would be appropriate to start trying sooner rather than later, while of course still getting phase 1 and 2 strategies in place. If you have any chronic health issues, what I will say as like kind of the first phase 3 strategy to really try, it's an elimination diet. That is the gold standard for figuring out pretty much any way that food could be negatively affecting your health, whether it's digestive issues, whether it's headaches, whether it's allergies, and I'll put a whole list up. It's insane all the things that an elimination diet can help treat. I don't like calling it an elimination diet either. I like to call it an intuitive eating experiment because it's helping you get more in tune with how your body is responding to certain foods. It's not about restricting a whole food group for the rest of your life per se, unless that's what's appropriate for your body, right? So I will say if you are dealing with health issues, you want to get some immediate relief while you're working on phase 1 and 2 strategies, the elimination diet is probably the best place to start. Again, though, I cannot prescribe this. This is something that we would need to talk about, find out more about your situation and see if that is appropriate for you. I can show you how to do an elimination diet though. So that is something I can help you with if you want to do that. So really all it does is it helps you figure out specifically what foods help you perform at your best, help you feel your best, help your energy stay at the best levels, help manage any symptoms you have with medical issues. So what I always like to say is there's not a single one most healthiest diet in the whole world that, everyone should do, but there is a one healthiest diet for you. And we want to find that both in figuring out those how to eat strategies, when you eat, how much you eat. And then there's an optimal diet in terms of what you eat, Maybe your body does better with meat and fruit. Maybe your body, there are people who actually thrive on just meat. There are people who thrive on just plants. So we want to figure out what is the right one for you. And that's where the intuitive eating experiment, aka elimination diet, can be really, really helpful. But again, we want to do that in conjunction with getting those how to eat strategies down, the what to eat strategies, right? So I will be talking about these more in the getting back in the driver's seat training, as well as the decoding your body's cues training. Those will be in week 3 and 4 of April this month. So if you have questions about those, though, let me know. For now, get started with signing up in the comments there. Sign up for the How to Eat Challenge, where I will show you those 3 foundational habits that everybody should have in place, no matter what phase you're in. So this is truly the best place to start. That challenge is going to happen April 13th through 15th. If you're watching this after April 13th through 15th, go into the guide section and you can still sign up for the challenge with the most updated link. And if you're needing more help, especially if you are in phase 1, have those health issues, and you need to do phase 1 and phase 3 kind of at the same time to get the maximum relief, let's talk. That is something that I help people with big time. I am a certified nutrition coach, so I can help you, and body translation is kind of my jam. That's my superpower. So I'm really excited about the decoding your body's cues training, because that's going to be fun. It's perfect for anyone who is like, I wish I just knew what my body wanted. That's what I do. I take a look at everything that is going on for you, and I tell you exactly what your body is trying to tell you, so that we can just start doing it and get you relief and get you happy and eating healthy without the whole like just throw all the spaghetti at the wall phase, because that's not fun for anybody. So if that is you, if you need that support, if you want to just start getting these results in place now, let's talk about you joining us in the Accountability and Consistency Club, because that is where you're going to get that customized support from me, and you will get the accountability and the support to actually implement these strategies long enough to get results, as opposed to like, oh, try it for a week and it's still not working, so just throw in the towel. We want to break that cycle. I want to show you that you can get powerful, life-changing results from doing these foundational habits. And when you're ready, I want to help you find the appropriate phase 3 strategies and implement those so you can get the maximum results long-term and be able to still be in phase 2. So no more of the yo-yoing from surviving to get some results to back to surviving and being frustrated. Like, let's break that whole cycle. So talk to me about joining the ACC. If that sounds like the help that you need, you can send me a DM, and I will also drop the link here in a sec to the page itself, where you can just learn more about the program. I am opening up one-on-one coaching as well. So the ACC is a group coaching program. It's a monthly based program, so you can sign up for month to month, or you can sign up for a 6-month chunk where you get a 20% discount. I'm also going to go ahead and open up one-to-one coaching, because not everybody wants or needs like the group component. You'll still have access to it if you would like, but you would also get one-on-one coaching with me, where we have a coaching call together each month, and you get much more customization in terms of like, I will create your workout plan and your diet plan and that sort of thing. We'll work very closely on creating what is right for you. And then, of course, accountability and consistency are kind of the big things. So getting you consistent and helping keep you accountable along the way. So if you are interested in either of those, let me know. You can drop it in the comments, or you can send me a message. And again, I will drop the link in the comments so you can learn more about the program and what coaching with me looks like. But if you have questions, send me a message. So that is it for right now. I do also offer just a custom nutrition guide too, if you want to just get started with that. So let me know in the comments if you are interested in that, and I'll send you the information. So that's it for today. I hope this was helpful. Let me know again what phase you think you are in, and make sure you sign up for that How to Eat challenge so we can get those habits in place ASAP. So have a beautiful day, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.